All right, so I'm on location with my good friend Benoit, and we're gonna do some testing with the Kinect with Motionbuilder just for fun. So I've downloaded pretty much everything from the website from Brekel.com, and I've installed everything that's recommended. So you've seen on the website, you see all the installation instructions are there. You just plug in your Kinect in your computer, and then you start this application called Kinect 3D Scanner, and it works right away. So you see that here at the bottom, I've turned on the thing called Night user tracking, so it's going to track any user that's going to come into frame. Right now it's a 3D scanner, so I can orbit around and you can see that what it's filming here within the range of the Kinect, it's actually giving us a 3D scene. So what I'll ask now is that you're going to look into that window here, and I'm going to turn off night for now just to give you an idea. So I'm going to ask my friend Benoit to come into the frame, and you see that as Benoit is walking, we have the depth here for Benoit, and I can still orbit around him, and you see that it's the projection of Benoit on in 3D like that. So you can export that as an OBJ, and it's all cool. But now we're really focused on tracking Benoit and send this motion into Motionbuilder. So what I'll do is I'll turn on here night user tracking, and you see that as soon as it's turned on, it recognizes that there's a user. So when you see this color, or when you see a color, it means that there's a user that's been recognized into the frame. So what I'm going to ask Benoit to do is to take the pose for the setup. So as soon as Benoit has all this pose for a certain time, you see that you got white dots that appear on him, so now he's being tracked, the system is calibrated. So if Benoit moves now, you'll see that the points are being tracked. So if it turns around, if you just do some moves or whatever, you see that it's tracking him, and that's the data that we want to send to Motionbuilder. So the way that it works in Motionbuilder, if you've installed everything that as described in the instruction, what you're going to get in Motionbuilder, if I go here in the property, the asset browser, if I go into the devices, you'll see that there's a device called Brekel Kinect. And sorry for the noise, we're in a gym right now, and we're kind of filming without permission, so we have to deal with the noise that we have here. Anyway, so I've got the Brekel Kinect, so I'm going to drop that into the environment. By default, it's offline, so I'm going to turn on the 9. I'm going to make it live, and I'm going to enable it for recording a bit later. But you see that nothing happens in Motionbuilder. That's because we don't have a skeleton to show the data on. So I'll go here in model binding, and I'll just say create, and it's going to create a model for Benoit to be inside of the frame. So if Benoit moves around, you'll see that we get this data here. So I'm just going to put the two side by side so we can see. So I've got him moving here, and just going to go in Motionbuilder and try to see him move as well at the same time. So it's hard to have the two exactly running at the same time. So what I'll do here is I'll just minimize this so that you can see Benoit moving in Motionbuilder. The thing now is that it's just bones, and it has not been characterized yet, but the tool provides a characterization system right away. So I'm going to ask Ben to take a T-pose like this, and the arms a bit lower, like that. Perfect. And here there's a button called Create Character Nodes. I'm going to create those character nodes, and you see that Kinect, it's going to appear right here in the system. So now if I enable that for recording, I'll be able to record whatever Ben is doing. So that's what I'm going to do here. I've got my control, animation control at the bottom for recording purposes. So I'm going to start recording, and yes, I want to override the take and start the recording. And now Benoit's going to move around, do something with whatever. So he's moving around, and I'm going to stop that. I'm going to turn off live, and as soon as live is off, I can play back whatever he's done for me when I was doing the recording of the motion. So what I'd like to do now is to provide this data to a character inside of Motionbuilder. So I'll bring back the live so we can track him in real time, and I'll go into the tutorials as we did before. I'm just going to grab the Mia characterize. I'm just going to drop that in, merge in, no animation. So the character is there, so we would like to feed this character with the Kinect data. So what I'll do here is I'll go into the Mia character, and as an input, we are going to just grab the Kinect character here, and character in, and we've got the character there. Of course, we're going to maybe get some jittering and all of that, but that's what Motionbuilder is all about, is to fix motion capture. So what I'm going to do is ask Ben to move around and just do some stuff, and move his hands and all of that. There's a bit of smoothing that you can adjust, so let's see a few things that will help you to have a good solution out of that. So if I go back to the Kinect here, you see that there's a smoothing. Streamed user means that there's no smoothing at all, and when you bring on a bit more smoothing, you'll see that there's a bit of delay if you do something like that. You'll see that there's a bit of delay, but the delay will remove all of the jitter motion. So if you just go with a value of around 0.6, you can get you're gonna get a good average of this, or maybe a bit less, but it's a matter of trying. So if I go back to Motionbuilder, we're gonna get our data. You'll see that the character is kind of flying in the air here, and we'd like that to be avoided. So I'm gonna go back to the Mia character. I'm gonna go here in Mia, double click on it. In the character settings, you'll see in the if I go into the foot control, we're gonna find it's hard to work at a small resolution like that. So let me just go down here, and we're gonna say match source. That's gonna be a good thing. Then we're gonna go into the actor. We're gonna say human limit. So it's gonna kind of give the actor a better sense of human behavior. So it's not gonna stretch or things like that. And then we're gonna go into feet stabilization. We're gonna increase that, so it's gonna be a bit more stable. And there's a thing here called damping. So if we increase that, it's going to damper. Yeah, I don't know if it's a word, but that damper the. And what I'm looking for is the retargeting, and we are trying to find in there the foot floor contact. So floor contact should be in the reach. Let me pause as I'm searching in this small interface here. So here we go. So it's in the floor contact here, so it's a bit lower. So it's under damping. So if I go here in floor contact, I'm going to turn on feet contact floor, and then I'm going to grab the reference here. And as I bring it down, you see that the feet are kind of sticking to the ground. So it's just a matter of making it just a little bit so that we have our character on the ground. And then we have we're going to stream or user or adjust the smoothing a little bit like that. And then I'm going to ask Benoit to move and do some stuff, and now we're ready to record or take this motion and have our rig provided with motion capture directly coming from the Kinect. And of course, it's the same thing as usual. If you record this, you'll be able to plot it to skeleton. If you bring in the rig from 3ds Max, from CAT or from Biped or for whatever, you'll be able to provide the rig with real-time data like this with the Kinect. And of course, all these glitches here can be adjusted with the damping and all of that, all of these values. So for $150, you got a very small motion capture studio that you can bring with a laptop and go on site and take these types of motion for your animation. And remember, it's maybe not going to be a perfect animation, but if you want to just grab, instead of filming yourself to do a basic animation and then keyframe based on your video, what you can do is use Motionbuilder, grab that motion capture, and then send it to 3ds Max on your rig. So that's it. That's just we did it for fun, and it seems to work pretty okay, and we have pretty good results. So that's it.